subscribers. Or subscriber rate. Hit the fucking like button and subscribe if I knock your ass out, man. I ain't fucking with you, man.
UFC Vegas 62. We are back, guys. We are back. Grosso versus Araujo back at the Apex. After a week off, 2 of the last 3 weeks, no UFC. Kind of sucks. Which is rare. You don't see that often. But they're making up for it definitely next week with a big pay-per-view card from Abu Dhabi. Excited for that event. You know, we have a couple of good fights on this card as well. It's a UFC fight night, so expectations are down a little bit. Main event, not the greatest, but it's an important fight in that division. A nice run, guys. We are on a nice run here in the UFC and all sports. Really, it's a 45-19 all sports run right now for myself and clients. That's 71%, and that's starting to get into long-term territory there, at least a few months now. 16-3 all fights before the break. 16-3 in the UFC all fights. 2 of the last 3 cards have been perfect for you guys in the free on my free play videos here, and of course the clients as well. It's a 96-51 long term in the UFC. Longer term is what matters, and we're in the 64-65% range long term. PGA guys, a milestone. I hit last week in the PGA golf market over 80 units in the prop market. Over 80 units in the prop market. That was the goal. Now our next goal is 100. 100 units is the next goal. 16-5 prop run currently. 9-2 matchups as well. NFL, nice week 5, finishing 6-2. 20-10 NFL one right now, and just under 5 units. NFL's back. NHL is back. NHL is back. Reminder from last year here. I'll be low volume in the NHL, especially right now. I have 1 pending. First bet in the NHL is pending tonight, but it'll be low volume, lower units throughout the year. I'll be picking my spots, especially early on in the season. MLB 2-0 in the future market, hitting our best bet on the Jays. Jays just by 0.5 wins. It took all 162 games, which was wild. We also hit the Dodgers over their win total. But then we lost on the Jays throughout the week. I had them to beat Seattle. We did lose on them there. Low volume in the MLB throughout the playoffs. I may pick a few spots. I do have a couple pending right now in the futures market. NBA reminder, it will be back soon, guys. I am already studying the future market in the NBA. That will be out soon for clients. Right now, though, NBA, just doing some research there. System Sports Capping to become a client today and receive all my sports bets, guys. All my personal plays via email. Profitable each year in each sport. Client comments over the year over there on the site. Free picks, resume, and updated records as well. Also, guys, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's at System Capping. Free picks over there, winning tickets, updates, sports betting news, and much more. Guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a ton for this algorithm, trying to get more views on a daily basis. Let's hear from my friend Meredith before we get into this card.
Guys, Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Guys, shop around. Shop around for the best price. Have multiple books. I can't stress that enough. That's my advice to you guys every week. Have multiple books because books do vary from book to book. Right, so I try to always get the best price. Or some books have this prop, some books don't have this prop, some books may not have this sport. So try to have as many books as possible. Put in a balance there, and you'll continue to see it going up. Main event. Let's get into the main event. Grosso minus 220 versus Araujo plus 180. Another women's MMA main event. Right, back-to-back weeks. Another low-level main event in my opinion, but it is a fight night like I mentioned. But it is an important fight for the division. Very important. You know, winner of this fight won't be far from a title shot, which is kind of crazy to say. Remember, this division doesn't have many contenders, right? There's not a boatload of guys like the men's divisions. So the winner here, it's a big step to that title shot. I think probably maybe number one contender. I don't know if to get a title shot, but definitely number one contender spot in my opinion. You know, both girls winners of 3 of their last 4 fights. That's what put them in this position to get to that number one contender. However, Grasso has the better resume between the two in my opinion. 3 wins in a row over Joanne Wood, Macy Barber, and Kim. The one loss was to Esparza, right, the champion. Araujo wins have been a little lower level in my opinion. Andrea Lee, Roxanne Modafferi, De La Rosa, you know, just mid-tier girls that will never, you know, contend for a title. Her one loss, obviously, is Caitlin Chookagian, who has been there before. Makes sense that Caitlin won that fight. Grasso now, you know, she's 29. I think she's in her prime right now. I think she continues to get better. She's improving her game all around. We know she can box and strike. That's her strength. She'll be the better striker in this matchup. She'll be quicker on her feet, and she'll throw a lot more volume, right? So that's going to be her strength here. The cardio is there as well. Great scrambling. I think she continues to improve her wrestling. I think her scrambling is really good, and it has improved. Araujo, you know, good grappler, black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and she can wrestle. She's very her cardio is not great. That's I think her downfall here, but I think she's tough. I think she likes to come quick in fights. She likes to start off the fight quick, and she is strong. So I can see her trying to get this fight down to the ground, and I think that's where it's going to play out here. How is Grasso's you know, grappling and her wrestling improved, and the takedown defense, right? That's going to be the case here. I do think Grasso, like I mentioned, has the advantage on the feet. The volume is there. Araujo doesn't have a ton of volume. I think Grasso just could pick her apart if she's able to keep the fight on the feet. Right? It's not like Araujo's some high-level wrestler and great at takedowns. She's not, but she usually does get the fight down to the ground eventually throughout the fight. She uses her strength. She is going to be the stronger girl in there. So that's something that you have to take in factor here. It's just, this is a 5-round fight, guys. And if I think this fight gets into the 3rd, 4th round, I think advantage Grasso. I do think she has the advantage there in the cardio department. And I do think the volume may be too much for Araujo. It's not a clear-cut winner on Grasso. You know, minus 220. It's tough to get to when I see that Araujo has passed to win this fight. It's if she can wrestle and grapple and keep her down on the mat. So she does have some value here on Araujo at plus 180. For the video purpose, I'm going to lean Grasso and take Grasso because I do think that her grappling and her wrestling is improving. And I do think she can show it here. This hasn't made my betting card as of yet. If it does, it's going to be Grasso in a 2-fight parlay, two-team mixed parlay, etc. But I'll have to see the weigh-ins here and, you know, just see some more interviews throughout the week. But, yeah, I'm going to lean Grasso here. Don't love the price at minus 220. There is pass for Araujo to win this fight, and that's why I don't love that price. But I am leaning Grasso to get the victory. Cub Swanson is back at a new division, plus 170 versus Jonathan Martinez, minus 200. You know, I always like watching Cub Swanson fight. He comes forward, he bangs with you. He's not scared, obviously, to get hit as well. Could be the fight of the night here, guys. You know, both guys like to strike and hit hard, so I'm expecting a stand-up battle here. Right? I'm expecting this fight to play out on the feet. Cub winner of 3 of his last 4 with a few nice names in there, right? Elkins, he finished, which isn't easy to do. Not easy to finish Derek and Elkins. He did get a finish there in the first round. Pineda, a good win, and Crone Gracie as well. The one loss to Giga, you know, I get it. Giga, obviously a little more skilled, especially at this time of his career. Martinez, the younger guy, should be faster in there on his feet. And has won 3 in a row. He trains at altitude at Factory X. I love the guys from Factory X. Always ready for camp and out of camp and their fights. You know, Cub, 38 now, just doesn't seem like he's moving the same. However, right, that toughness is there. The power is there. The veteranship is there. He's been around. He's fought everyone, right? So it's just hard for me to get the Jonas Martinez minus 200, even though I do think he's right now the faster and better striker. in there. However, we see Martinez get rocked a few times. That does concern me, right? He's a little chinny, as some people say, right? We've seen Davy Grant finish him in a fight. David Grant not really known for power or for finishing fights. We've seen Martinez get knocked down in multiple fights. So it is concerning here when we know Cub's going to come in there swinging heavy and looking for that finish, and he is coming off a finish over a guy that's very difficult to finish fights. Right? It's just tough for me to get this. There is value at Cub Swanson. I wouldn't call you crazy to put a little small unit on Cub at plus 170. It's just I'm not going to be betting this fight from a betting standpoint on a side. Nothing I can get to here. It's going to be Martinez's toughest test yet, and it's a Cub Swanson at 38. So it's not saying a ton, right? Martinez hasn't fought a ton of guys that were, world beaters or, no rank guys. Of course, obviously Cub's not ranked as well. And a little concerning, Cub's, moving down in weight. This is the first time I bet in weight. That's a little scary too. You want to watch the weigh-ins on this one. Definitely watch the weigh-in, see how Cub looks on the scales. If you do want to put a value bet on plus 170, there's some 180s out there as well. But yeah, it's hard for me to get there. I would have to lean Martinez. It's not going to make my betting card though. I can see this fight also maybe going 3 rounds as well. But wouldn't be surprised if that under 2.5 hits. There's some value there. Under 2.5, I think you get at plus money. So definitely some value there. Askarov minus 240 versus Royval plus 200. This is an important fight in the flyweight division, guys. Very good fight. Probably the best fight, in my opinion, on this card. Winner could be number 1 contender. No, we're not far from it. Askarov finally lost his first time. The first time when Kai Kara-France was on that heater. He lost that fight. Before that, he has wins over Benavidez, Pantoja, Elliott, and a draw with Brandon Moreno. So very impressive names there. Top guys in the division. And, coming off a loss, I expect him to be at his best here. He's come into this fight with a full training camp as well, so keep that in mind. Like some of his comments here, downplaying Royval's skills. When Royval moves up in class, he tends to struggle. Right? A lot and loses the fight. Pantoja, he lost. He submitted him in round 1, and Moreno finished him as well. So when Royval's stepping up in competition, I do think he's struggling. Is it a step up in competition? I think so. I think Askarov is a top 3, top 5 guy in this division. Is Royval? I don't know. I don't think so. This would be a big win for Royval if he can get it done. I just think Askarov will be a little too much with that jab and his takedowns. Right? If Askarov goes back to getting Royval down to the ground, holding him there, avoiding a submission. Askarov is good at avoiding submissions, and I think he can get this fight down to the ground and do enough there. Royval has been taken down multiple times in most of his fights, to be honest. So I don't think much changes there. He is dangerous in the submission game. I do think Royval can possibly pull off a submission here, but I do think Askarov will be prepared for that. And I do think if he does take him down, he can try to just kind of control him there, and also possibly maybe get some ground and pound. So I do like Askarov here to win this fight. Again, minus 240, not a fight that I bet straight up. I would lean a decision. With a possible late finish here. But, I like Askarov in a 2-fight parlay this weekend. Jordan Wright plus 170 versus Todorovic minus 200. Both guys that look for a finish. We should have early fireworks in this one. I don't see this fight going all 3 rounds. That's one thing I really like in this fight. You got to pay for it, though, in the minus 400s, right? Both guys have been struggling to find wins. Very difficult to bet a side here. Wright has back-to-back fights. Has lost back-to-back fights. And Todorovic 3 out of his last 4. So both fighters will be hungry to win. I lean Todorovic because I do think he has a wrestling advantage here. And also he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So if Todorovic is smart, doesn't just stand and bang, because we know Todorovic can get hit. His defense is terrible on his feet. And Wright does have some power at times. So Todorovic's game plan should be to get this fight to the ground. Find maybe a ground and pound or maybe even a submission. So I'm going to lean Todorovic here. The price sucks at minus 200. I will not have a bet on this fight. But, the best side is you're under 2.5 or fight not to go the distance. You just got to pay for it, right? So, if you feel like paying for it, go ahead. That's going to be my best bet on this fight. And to open up the main card, unless things change, because things do change, but I am talking, the best 5 fights that I see here on this card. Misha Cirkunov plus 180 versus Menefield minus 220. What does Cirkunov have left, right? He continues to bounce around in divisions. Went down to 185, realized he was too slow. Now he's back at 205, but he's going to be maybe too small for this division. He's always in between. He's been having a hard time finding where he should fight. Menefield's just going to be the bigger guy in there, and I think what Cirkunov likes to do is he likes to grapple, try to get down with the fight to the ground, or maybe against a cage. And he could struggle against Menefield. Even though Menefield, doesn't like to really grapple and wrestle, I just think Cirkunov may struggle due to the big body of Menefield. Right? Menefield, obviously he has the power. He could catch Misha. It doesn't have a great chin. Misha, and you got to watch this weight cut too, right? You got to see how the weight cut goes on the scales. But, both big boys. Menefield, like I said, will be the stronger guy. And what Cirkunov likes to do, what Misha likes to do, can he catch him? Like he's gonna be a better grappler than him, right? So, Misha obviously could find a submission and the upset. It's not clear cut. Again, it's another tough price to pay at Menefield at 2-1. Right? It's tough to say. Menefield's not a world beater, hasn't beat anyone significant, and obviously we know it's gas tank, right? He struggles late in fights, so. Again, Misha could find some success if he's able to grapple with Menefield and able to somehow get this fight to the ground, or at least against the cage, maybe a sneaky submission. He does have some value here, plus 180. Get submission in a plus 400 or 500 mark. That's probably where you want to look. I don't like this fight. It's not a fight that I'll be betting. I lean the fight to go a few rounds, so you can maybe get it over 1.5 if you get a decent price there. But from a side standpoint, I'll definitely be staying away. That will do it, guys. That will do UFC Vegas 62. Look out for next week's card. Next week's card is exciting. I'm excited for it. I may put it out a day early. Already starting to handicap it and looking at it. Very excited. Tons of fights that I'm looking forward to next week. This week, couple good fights, not too bad for a UFC Vegas card at the Apex, but we will definitely see what happens. Look out for my NFL video out tomorrow. That will do it, guys. Like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.